Hello guys, it is the 49th Gunner back again. You'll have to excuse the blanket, I'm absolutely freezing today. I usually like the cold weather, but no, I'm not feeling it this year. For the first time I think in my life, I'm not feeling the cold. So here I am wrapped up. Arsenal, the important stuff. A 3-1 win today, absolutely fantastic game. Absolutely fantastic goals, should I say. The first thing I want to talk about today in our post-game, sort of talk that we always do is how beautifully they remembered, they did their Remembrance Day celebrations. Absolutely brilliant at the Emirates today. Absolutely spot on. First and foremost, they lost their lives for us. So much more important than football, So it was great to see the Emirates doing such a great service for the soldiers. I absolutely love that sort of stuff, and that's obviously more important than football. So that was great to see. That was great to see today. But now we'll get on talking about the football. Initially, no Ben White. There was no Ben White today. I didn't sort of really say too much about what was going on with him, but generally the guesses, especially on Arsenal radio, but it was easy enough to agree, were he's just knackered. He always plays. He's always putting a shift in. He always looks exhausted. Zinchenko's come on for him. But I mean, he plays week in, week out. So we had Tomiyasu on the right and we had Zinchenko on the left. Found out an interesting stat about Havertz. I know obviously I've given Havertz some stick before, but his actual kilometres per game is higher than anybody's. Even like Declan Rice's. Declan Rice is everywhere in the Valencia game. You saw in the Valencia game, Declan Rice is everywhere. He's everywhere in every game. But yeah, like I say, it's actually Havertz who's edging the most kilometres so far per game, which is absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, right. The first half, for me, the first half was for a large amount of it. The first half was pretty standard from what we saw of Sean Dyche's Burnley. There were a lot more pressing, a lot more hard hitting. Burnley weren't really going in as they previously would have. They weren't going in hard on the tackles the same. There wasn't that same sort of physical presence about Burnley. Like they allowed Saka to be busy, working really well early on. I mean, Saka was putting plenty of pressure on. Saka was keeping the tempo up sort of early on in the first half and putting the pressure on. It looked like we were going to score all through the first half. Unfortunately, yeah, we won, but that wasn't quite the case. Burnley had the first corner. Raya pushing it out with a good effort. We had plenty of early corners, fizzling away to absolutely nothing. So yeah, like I say, we were quite wasteful. I don't want to criticise them as such. They were great in their movement, but the finishing wasn't there. Like I say, so I mean, up until the very end of the first half, we were all over Burnley. We could have scored a fair few, but that is credit to Trafford, who is a ex-Man City player in goal for Burnley. Absolutely fantastic save. He made a fantastic save against Saka, hitting high up in the top left corner, stopping Saka having a really good shot. I think their man of the match would easily be Trafford today. I know he let 3 in, but with the sheer amount of dominance we had in the game, 3 was a compliment to them. We really let them off, I think. And I have to say, regardless of the scoreline, I think the Burnley goalkeeper absolutely deserves his credits. Yeah, so Havertz was unlucky on the 18th minute mark with a good header as well. That was just off target. That was a specific thing. Saka was looking deadly with a shot heading towards the top corner. That was the save. Sorry, I'm just checking my notes. It was a brilliant save from Burnley's keeper. And another great shot from Saka, that was eventually cleared out by Brownhill. But like I say, the goalkeeper is there and he's an absolute star. I think he's like 20 years old. He's absolutely quality. And the saves he made, the positioning, he got himself lost here and there on a couple of crosses from Zinchenko, but generally I think he looks like an absolute one for the future. So hopefully he'll find himself somewhere, you know, where he can stay at Burnley, you know, gain the experience and maybe move to a bigger club or, yeah, so like I say, I think generally he seems really, really good. Declan was absolutely fantastic again. Every week is the same thing with Declan Rice. He was turning possession over fantastically. Trossard had a good effort as well. That was another save from Trafford. Yeah, so at the very end of the first half, Trossard put us up 1-0. He literally threw himself into the goal, nearly broke his arm, and he gave literally his arm for the goal. He was literally putting his body on the line for us, putting us 1-0. Just literally launching himself into the goal. He managed to hit it in, but he took himself a knock on the goalpost. And we went in 1-0 up, but unlucky not to be a lot, you know, better off than that. That goal of his, the first goal scorer, Trossard, all 7 of his goals now have been assisted by Saka. So I think it's very, very great, the partnership they've got between them all. Obviously, Martinelli was fantastic today with the attacking presence, same as he was against Sevilla. But generally, I think you can kind of you can take any 2 attackers and they'll combine well. You know, like I say, it's brilliant to see this ludicrous partnership that that Saka now has with Trossard. On the second half, despite our strength, despite us coming out of the blocks, it was Burnley. Burnley had a deflected shot. It was Brownhill who scored for them. We made such a good start to the second half. Great possession, great movement from Zinchenko out to Rice, and great movement up. But it was Brownhill who managed to sort of get the first. You know, the Brownhill got the goal early for them. I wasn't too bothered at the time. I was convinced we were still going to win it, but it came from unlikely sources. We had a few missed shots again after that goal. Rice with a great ball to Martinelli, and his shot disappointingly straight at the keeper. Martinelli will be gutted about that. That shot will probably be playing on his mind a little bit because that was a hell of a chance for him to score. And he's basically, although Trafford's had a phenomenal game for Burnley, that shot in particular wasn't really much to challenge. I think Martinelli should have got his name on the score sheet. You know, I think Martinelli will be certainly irritated that he didn't manage to get one. He's played brilliant in both the last 2 games, this game and the last game. But you know, you can tell he just wants to hit the target. And I think that shot will haunt him for a little while. You know, I think he'll probably go a little bit mad in shooting training when their next training together. Saliba, second goal scorer, 2-1 up. He was right near the goal. To rise up high above everybody, though, the power in him to get up higher, even above the keeper, to put that in, that was absolutely fantastic. And everybody was going wild singing Saliba. The crowd was absolutely buzzing, absolutely pumped, and it was the loudest it's been in a while singing Saliba. That was his first goal at the Emirates as well. So that was absolutely fantastic. Saliba is an absolute, like I say, we all call him the Rolls Royce. We all call him the Rolls Royce for a reason. So we were 2-1 up at that point. First substitution came from, for the first substitution for Arsenal was at 58 minutes. Havertz came off. He sort of wasn't really looking himself in the second half. He didn't really sound himself on the radio, to be honest. And Vieira came on. Vieira is a naughty boy at the minute for me. Rice had another shot, but I'll get to that later. Rice had another shot, just wide, really well hit. Sort of in between, you know, the second and third goal. And then Zinchenko does a sort of karate move, left-footed sort of volley. Absolutely fantastic. Bruce Zinchenko Lee, we'll call him for the while. I think that was absolutely phenomenal. He basically turned into prime Jackie Chan. Jumping left foot volley, unbelievable. The double change from Burnley at the 77th minute didn't really look enough to affect us. Nelson Nketiah came on for us. It was all looking relatively easy, and then there was a bit of a panic towards the end. Fabio Vieira went in for a challenge, showing his studs off. It was a red card. A lot of people were questioning whether it was a red card. Regardless, it was reckless. You shouldn't be going in. He was very apologetic to the person he hit. You know, you could tell he didn't mean to do it. There was no maliciousness in it, but regardless, it was a stupid challenge. So not that we would have thrown away a win necessarily, but it was still a bit stupid to put that pressure on everybody else, you know, the other 10. So it was a silly challenge from him. Yeah, so Kiwior came on for Martinelli. Martinelli went off sort of like 87th minute. He was absolutely exhausted, ran an absolute mile. We had like you could tell we had like a cramp or something. So it's no injury. It's nothing to worry about per se. He just put 101% in, and his body needed a bit of a rest. So Kiwior came on for him, and we sort of played like 5 at the back, you know, 2 on the wing, 3 in the middle. There was tons of extra time. The extra time went on. We had about 10 minutes extra time. Because of certain things, Zinchenko got kicked in the head by Kiwior and went down all bloodied at the end of the game, which was not nice, but there's nobody else we can blame than our own there. So accidental from Kiwior, you know. So yeah, good win, good 3-1 win, and get this international rubbish out the way and then get back on with the next game, I believe, against Brentford. We'll get back to the important stuff soon. Basically, with a man sent off and with Jorginho going off injured, that is how you win with 9 men, Tottenham. So, yeah, let's hope we can keep it up. Let's hope we can maintain it. Anyway, yeah, it's a quick one from me. I'm going to go and, I don't know, maybe put another jacket on. Thank you guys if you've watched. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.